Okay, we are live. Fala, senhoras e senhores. Hello, guys. Welcome to another live stream. E aí, gente, tudo bem? Sejam todos muito bem-vindos a mais uma live por aqui. Se você acabou de chegar, muito prazer. O meu nome é Camille Vilela, eu sou professora de inglês e criadora do método Fluência 30x9. Hoje nós estamos aqui para uma prática intensa de conversação. Nós vamos falar inglês durante 1 hora. Você está mais do que bem-vindo a mandar as suas perguntas, mandar as suas dúvidas. Nós vamos interagir pra caramba. E a ideia é que, durante a nossa aula, eu quero compartilhar com vocês 30 perguntas. 30 perguntas super simples, super tranquilas, super comuns que nós podemos usar ao interagir com outras pessoas para ter mais confiança, para quebrar o gelo, para a gente se sentir mais confortável e nada melhor do que se preparar para essas circunstâncias, certo? Davi já tá aqui. Fala, Davi, tudo bem? Seja muito bem-vindo. Se você tá aí, manda um hello, manda um salve aí no chat só para eu saber que você tá aqui presente na aula de hoje. Maravilha? E claro, como nossas aulas lindas e maravilhosas, eu vou preparar um material muito especial para compartilhar com vocês. Então, caso você ainda não esteja fazendo parte do nosso grupo de estudos gratuito, o link tá aqui embaixo. Se não tiver aqui embaixo, tá em qualquer outro vídeo meu aqui do canal. Mas eu tenho um recado muito importante para vocês antes disso, tá? Aí uma coisa, esse material vai ter senha, porque eu realmente só quero as pessoas que tenham acesso a esse material, quem tá aqui acompanhando, quem se importa em estudar inglês, e não simplesmente sair baixando um tanto de conteúdo de inglês por aí aleatório, né? O material que eu vou compartilhar com vocês é a base das explicações que eu vou dar hoje, tá bom? Mas eu preciso fazer um convite muito especial para vocês, que é o seguinte, meu povo, dias 29, 30 e 31, nós teremos a primeira imersão de inglês direto da Califórnia, e você não pode ficar por fora dessa, tá bom? Aí, o link de inscrição tá aqui embaixo, vai ser um evento gratuito, serão 3 dias intensíssimos, muito intensos, de aulas, e o que a gente vai ter durante esses 3 dias? Primeiro, eu vou compartilhar todos os detalhes do método que eu usei para alcançar fluência no inglês, porque sim, eu tive que desbravar o mundo do inglês com as minhas próprias pernas para alcançar fluência no inglês, porque o método tradicional não funciona, a gente sabe disso, nós não precisamos ficar presos numa escola durante 6 anos para aprender inglês, certo? O inglês da realidade, o inglês do dia a dia, o inglês do cotidiano tem uma outra forma, funciona de outro jeito, é prático, é direto, é simples e você sente a sua evolução constantemente, tá? Então eu vou te ensinar qual que é esse método que eu usei, mas não só isso, eu vou compartilhar todos os segredos que eu aprendi convivendo com os nativos, com os gringos, aqui, todos os dias, porque eu não sei se você sabe, mas eu moro aqui nos Estados Unidos há 4 anos. 4 anos, tem hora que nem eu acredito que o tempo passa muito rápido, gente. Muito rápido. Então, nesses 3 dias de evento, eles serão incríveis, assim como eu falei pra vocês, e aí você precisa fazer sua inscrição pra participar. Combinado? O link tá aqui embaixo, é de graça, vem, quer sucesso, e é isso aí, tá bom? Fica aqui o convite para todos vocês. E, nossa, já temos várias pessoas agora participando, valendo. Ianca tá aqui, Nicolas, Fábio, Maria Júlia, Vinícius, outro Vinícius, Natasha. Hey, guys, welcome, welcome, welcome. E vamos lá, é o seguinte, a ideia da aula de hoje, assim como eu falei, é praticarmos, falarmos inglês durante 1 hora. Vocês estão prontos? And once again, this is something that is very useful because we're going to be practicing our listening ability for a while. A gente vai praticar a habilidade da escuta por bastante tempo, mas what I want for this class, okay, o que eu quero para nossa aula de hoje, is that we practice 30 questions. They're very useful, very simple, and that you can apply during your conversations on a daily basis, tá? Eu quero mostrar para vocês 30 frases que vocês podem usar que são super simples, super úteis para o seu dia a dia, ok? Estão prontos? Let's get started, let's get started. E aí, o que eu vou pedir para vocês? Coloquem aqui no chat quais são as perguntas que vocês gostariam que eu respondesse em inglês, tá bom? Pra gente ir praticando, pra vocês irem entendendo a dinâmica da aula de hoje, mas eu trouxe 30 perguntas, tá bom? Então, pode ser que a gente saia dessa aula aqui com muito mais do que 30 perguntas. Combinado? E eu quero saber também quem assistiu o último react que eu postei aqui do Mion. Vocês gostaram? Quero saber disso também, ok? Então, assim, são perguntas para quebrar o gelo, para você conhecer as pessoas, para você começar a fazer as suas primeiras interações em inglês, e eu vou te explicar e vou também linkar no material que eu vou mandar para vocês as aulas associadas com as perguntas, tá bom? Porque às vezes pode ser uma estrutura que você não esteja familiarizado e eu quero que você tenha familiaridade com aquela estrutura. E para isso tem várias aulas aqui no canal, né, gente? São mais de 400 aulas gratuitas aqui no canal para vocês. Então tem bastante coisa pra gente fazer hoje. Combinado? Prontos? Água porque ninguém é de ferro. Então vamos lá, cadê as perguntas? Eu não estou vendo nenhuma pergunta no chat. Cadê? Eita, acabei de ver só uma. Só uma? Mandem mais perguntas. Então eu vou começar e aí aos poucos eu vou adicionando as perguntas que vocês fizerem também. Combinado? E é o seguinte, a primeira delas pode ser parecer muito, ai, Camille, que simples, mas não é simples, não é porque é simples que não é útil, tá bom? Deixa eu aumentar aqui a... Vamos lá? O áudio tá bom pra vocês? Tudo certo? Quer que aumente o volume? Opa, exagerei legal. Aí, 30 perguntas simples pra gente interagir em inglês. Alright? Alright. Então, a primeira delas, gente, querendo ou não, quando a gente conhece uma pessoa, não tem como fugir disso. O primeiro passo é perguntar qual que é o nome dela. Em inglês, a gente pode perguntar da seguinte forma: What's your name? What's your name? And then you can answer in many different ways, okay? But we're going to focus only on one answer today. A gente só vai focar em uma resposta, porque se a gente for pensar em todas as variáveis para cada uma das perguntas, a gente não vai ficar aqui só uma hora, alright? And what I want to do for the next classes, I want to be speaking with you guys only in English. O que eu realmente quero fazer para as próximas aulas é, de repente, trazer cada vez mais inglês e falar só com vocês em inglês. But let's go. This question would be, what's your name? What's your name? That's a very simple question, right? But we gotta start a conversation. A gente tem que começar essa conversa. Então, a primeira é what's your name? Aqui você realmente pode só responder o seu nome mesmo e tá tudo certo, ok? So, what's your name? And then you can answer. My name is Camille, my name is Camille. It depends on how you want to be perceived, ok? E aqui é importante a gente falar sobre o nome, que, por exemplo, o meu nome, Camille, às vezes é difícil para as pessoas entenderem o meu nome até em português. Não é tudo bem. Mas em inglês eu prefiro me apresentar como Camille, ok? Camille. Por quê? Porque essa é a forma que fala o meu nome aqui. O meu nome escrito é pronunciado dessa forma. Mesma coisa que se eu for para a França, eu vou me apresentar como Camille, porque eu sei que lá meu nome é assim, tá bom? Então você pode procurar saber como que é a pronúncia do seu nome em inglês, você pode se dar um apelido, né? Eu penso bastante nas pessoas que falam idiomas que têm, digamos, alfabetos diferentes dos nossos, do nosso, né, do inglês e do português, e às vezes elas têm que fazer realmente uma adaptação, porque senão elas não conseguem nem começar uma conversa, alright? So this is just the first question, and then you can answer it normally, just with your name, apenas com o seu nome. A segunda pergunta, qual que seria? O que vocês acham que a gente poderia ter como segunda pergunta? Where are you from? Where are you from? Por quê? Se a gente está conversando com um gringo, ou se a gente está conversando com, enfim, alguma pessoa que fala inglês, a gente vai ter curiosidade de conhecer mais daquela pessoa, né? Então, what's your name? O nome. Where are you from? Where are you from? De onde você é? Inclusive, eu não sei se vocês viram, mas essa semana eu publiquei lá no meu Instagram, inclusive me sigam por lá, porque, gente, tô produzindo muito conteúdo bacana, todos os dias, tá? E eu também coloco nos stories várias dicas, eu respondo dicas de inglês diariamente nos stories, então vocês não podem ficar de fora, tá bom? Não pode perder. E aí eu fiz uma entrevista com vários gringos diferentes, eu perguntava o nome deles, perguntava de onde eles eram, olha aí essas duas perguntas aí do começo, e depois fiz outras perguntas. Inclusive, naquele post do Instagram, vocês vão lá e vocês deixem perguntas que vocês querem que eu faça para eles, porque eu vou gravar outros vídeos nos próximos dias com essa ideia, né, de entrevistar e falar com os gringos. Então, se vocês quiserem participar disso, é só ir lá no meu Instagram e deixar um comentário, tá? Deixa eu ver se eu consigo mostrar, na verdade, para vocês só o vídeo que é, só para vocês saberem do que eu tô falando, tá? Peraí, deixa eu trocar a página rapidinho, gente, porque eu acho que esse é um tipo de conteúdo muito legal e eu acho que vale a pena, né? Então, olha só. Aqui no meu Instagram, você vai nesse vídeo aqui, ó. Tá vendo? Esse aqui. Esse. Aí você clica aqui, eu tô fazendo perguntas pra eles e as pessoas estão deixando várias sugestões de outras perguntas que eu possa fazer, tá? Então é só deixar aqui. Ficou bem legal esse vídeo. Agora sim, voltando. Let's go back. Ok, where are you from? E aí você vai usar a estrutura muito simples na hora de responder, porque provavelmente a pessoa vai te devolver essa pergunta, né? Então, where are you from? I'm from, or I am from. E aqui é legal você falar Brazil, né? Brasil em inglês é com Z, ou você pode falar a cidade que você é, e aí depois Brasil, depende do contexto, ok? Good job. Temos uma pergunta excelente do Spider. What was your favorite singer when you were growing up or when you were a kid? Excellent question, Spider, and your question is pretty much right, okay? Sua pergunta tá excelente. E the answer, that's a hard answer, I would say, because I had many, many artists and singers that I really appreciated. But I would say that let's put Guns N' Roses and Axl Rose in this case. I know that he's not the best singer of all time, but I'm a big fan, so what can I say? All right, so that's it. I think that's my question, my answer. I would also say that Eddie Vedder, Pearl Jam's singer as well, and James from Metallica. I know that he's also like not the best technical singer of all time, but these are my references. All right. Let me see. Let me see. Olha que legal. Gabriel asked, what's your favorite film? Well, we can use this word, okay? We can use this word film, but it's usually used in the industry, within the cinematographic industry. We would usually say movie. What's your favorite movie? Tá? Então, só um detalhe, eu entendo e vão te entender se você usar essa palavra, mas film é uma palavra mais usada dentro da indústria. É tipo uma palavra mais cult para se referir aos filmes, tá? Então, geralmente a gente usa mais movies mesmo. And my answer, I think, would be, I don't know, actually, I don't know the name of this movie in English, but in Portuguese is O Som do Coração and Interstellar. These are the favorite ones for now. Victor Santos also asked, how old are you? Victor, how old do you think I am? I'm 26 years old. Let me see if we have more questions. Ó, o Victor falou, sou horrível na escuta. Então fica aí na aula e vai praticando junto comigo. Praticando junto com a gente. More questions. Let me see. Can make tag wise. Okay, so I'm not answering English questions right now, ok? Não vou responder perguntas sobre o inglês agora. A gente tá conversando, interagindo em inglês. Essa que é a ideia da nossa aula de hoje, ok? O Diego tá perguntando, sim, nesse caso sim, tá bom? All right, let's move on. I'm gonna keep following with my 30 questions, and then if you guys have more questions, just send me them, okay? Okay, Philip has another question. When did you learn English? Well, this is a good question because the process of learning English is not something that sometimes we can tell, like the year that it started and the year that it finished. Actually, it cannot finish, right? It cannot be finished, it cannot be done because learning English is a whole process. It's not something that it ends. It doesn't have an ending, okay? So I can tell that I started learning English when I was a kid because I had a huge interest in everything that was English related, as songs, bands, movies, series, cartoons, everything. So everything that was English related, I liked it because I thought at that time that the language was beautiful, that it was, I don't know, it was charming. There was something interesting about it. And that's why I felt so much like I fell in love with it. That's the truth. Okay, that's the truth. And what else? And then I try to learn it in many different ways. And only, I would say, at 14 years old, I would say that I was learning very well by myself. And I became fluent around, I would say, when I was 15, 16, around that time. David asked, could you, okay, a gente só inverteria aí, could you speak with a British accent, with the British accent? Well, I can't. I know that there are some differences, and I know the differences when it comes to like specific words. Okay, so for example, if I want to say water, I know that's water, but I cannot completely shift my speaking to the British accent. Sorry. Diego asked, what's the craziest dream you've ever dreamed of? A gente adicionaria esse of no final, tá bom? My craziest dream. I have no idea. I'm the kind of person who dreams a lot, and but I don't know if there is like in a specific dream that I remember and it was the craziest, you know. So that's a hard answer, hard answer to give. Sorry. Let's try another time. Send me another question. Let's see if I can get better at that. Okay? Ok. Agora vamos para a próxima. Eu acho que eu não vou conseguir fazer as 30 perguntas da minha lista. E que seja assim, tá? Porque, igual eu falei para vocês, eu tenho já as 30 perguntas prontinhas aqui para compartilhar com vocês. Mas se vocês vierem com perguntas mais interessantes, que eu acho que está sendo o caso, né? Eu já estamos aí 20 minutos de live e eu só fiz 2 das minhas perguntas, então eu acho que vocês estão contribuindo bastante. Mesmo assim, no final dessa live, eu vou passar para vocês a senha desse material. E aí vocês vão ter acesso a essas 30 perguntas que são para quebrar gelo, que são para começar uma conversa e as opções de resposta. E não somente isso, mas eu também vou associar todos os links e aulas que eu já dei aqui no canal de graça nesse material. Vou colocar tudo certinho para vocês poderem estudar. Ok? Okay, we have more questions. Send me questions. Guys, I'm going to close this tab. Okay, let's close this. It doesn't matter anymore. Let's chat. Let's chat. Okay. Let me see. Ok, your favorite food. Guys, esse jeito que o Vitor mandou a pergunta não está errado, tá? É só um jeito mais informal. Qual que seria gramaticamente a estrutura adequada? What is your favorite food? Ok? Mas beleza. My favorite food, Victor, when it comes to like full meals, I would say that it's like just the Brazilian and regular meal as rice, beans, beef, and I love French fries. That would be great for me, but it could be mashed potatoes. That's fine too. But I also love stroganoff, which is like a Russian dish, but in Brazil we have it in a different way. But I love it. I love everything pasta related. So lasagna, like spaghetti, pizza, you know, and Japanese food. Japanese food is one of the kinds of international foods that I wasn't very into it, but I discovered that I like it, which is fun, right? It's fun, pretty fun. Do you like it, Victor? Do you like Japanese food? Do you like any of these foods that I mentioned? Ilo asked, how's going your plants? So how are your plants going, right? How are your plants going? My plants are going very well. Actually, I just had one of my plants right here at the beginning of the day, but I took it out of there because it doesn't, you know, there isn't a lot of sunlight inside this room. And my plants were dying. And it's cold, so it's hard for them to survive. But I would say that they're doing a great job. Yeah, they're doing a great job for the season. I mean, it's 6 degrees in Los Angeles. The temperature is very low, so my plants are survivors, okay? We must respect them. Giovanni asked, are you a singer? No, I'm not a singer. I wish I was. I wish I was because I am a musician, actually. Let me show you guys my guitar. I don't know if I can do that. Wait. Let's try it. Oh my goodness. I don't believe that I'm doing it. There you go. I am a guitar player. That's what I do. This is one of my passions, actually. So I'm not a singer. I wish I was because I compose my own songs and I wish that I could sing my own songs. But apparently I don't have, I would say I cannot sing in a very good way. That's it. Okay? This is fun, guys. We should do this more often. Isso é bem legal. A gente devia fazer com mais frequência, vocês não acham? Eu acho. Alberto said, could you share a funny moment when you started to speak English? Well, I can actually. There are plenty of funny moments that I remember, and one of them is actually when I wasn't learning English for real, but I really loved it when I was like 6 years old. I used to go to school with my mom and my brother, and we would listen to like the radio. And it was like the Black Eyed Peas phase momentum. So we would listen to it every day on the radio, and I would sing it with my own pronunciation. And I would sing it accordingly to what I was hearing. But the fact is that my listening wasn't that good at that time, and I would sing whatever I wanted. So it was kind of funny because my brother would say to me at all times, like for real, every time that I would say something and sing something, he would say like, Camille, please stop. You don't know what you're saying, or you do it very badly. Stop. It's bad. whatever. So this is something funny that I remember, and it was one of the fuels, I would say, that pushed me to learning English. Like, I felt even more inspired and challenged to learn English and to become fluent, because my brother was always like just making jokes and making fun of me. So yeah, I think this is one of them. Diego's also asking, is snow is a good or a bad thing? In this case, I would just change, is snow, okay? Is snow a good or a bad thing? It depends on a point of view, right? For us, Latinos, snow is amazing. Sometimes we don't see the snow. Actually, there are some parts of the Latin America that snow, so yeah. But you got my point. It's like, for people who are far away from the snow, snow is something fun, something nice, something magical. But I would say that for those who live in the snow, it's not that fun. It's not that nice. It makes like people work even harder, because you have to clean your yard. If you want to live with your car, you have to clean your car. You have to clean the driveway. You have to clean your street. So it's like a lot of work involved and around snow. So I don't know if it's a good or bad thing. It depends on your perspective. It depends if you live with English or if you live with the snow or not. It depends if in winter you're happy or you're sad. Can you imagine that? Like, let's think about New York, for example, because it doesn't snow for real here in Los Angeles, for example. But if we think about New York, I think it's like minus 15 today. Minus 15 Celsius. You know what's that? I mean, I've never felt that cold, so I imagine that it's pretty bad. It's kind of hard for those who have pets and dogs. Imagine taking your dog for a walk when it's minus 15 Celsius. Not a nice experience. In the morning, like 5 a.m., you're doing that. Not nice. That's pretty cool. Wagner said, I can hear and understand native US English very well, but some accents like the Indian accent, talking English, it's impossible to me. It's impossible to you for now, Wagner, okay? Because the more you practice, the more you understand it. So it's like just a matter of being in contact with the variations of the language. So if in your case, you want to improve your listening with Indian speaking people, that's better for you to do it, and you know that you have this difficulty, so it's even easy to tackle. It's even easier to tackle, okay, your difficulty. So I would say, for example, in my case, I don't have that much of a difficulty understanding people from India speaking English, because I watched the Big Ben Theory a lot, and there is a character with an Indian accent, and it's the same. I bet like people from different regions might say the same thing for us about Brazilians. Like, the Brazilian accent is so hard to understand. People might say, I don't know, it can be, but it depends on the perspective. It depends on how much contact you have with the accent, and it depends on many different variables. So I would say for you, if you want to improve that, try to learn from people of that region. So in my case, for example, I was searching a lot about nutrition, and there are many people, Indian people, making videos about their cuisine in English and teaching the benefits of the herbs and the spices that they use. So that's a good suggestion. And also, when I was searching about my plants, I did the same. And there are a lot of Indians teaching about plants on YouTube too. So, it's just a matter of focusing and kind of guiding your practice so the accents are easier for you to understand. Guilherme asked, when can I know, or when do I know that I'm already fluent in English? Well, Guilherme, we have 4 different abilities in English, and I would say that for you to consider yourself fluent in English, you have to have a balanced relation between these 4 abilities. And you can use it, you can use the common framework, the European framework for languages that there is, and they have a specification for each of the abilities and each of the levels. So you have 4 abilities, which are listening, speaking, writing, and reading. And 6 different levels. So you can see what's the difference between them. It's like a table, like a spreadsheet, a framework that you can analyze and see the differences between levels. And then you can compare them, and then you can see where you find yourself within that work frame. And then you can know which level you're considered to be in when it comes to each of these abilities. Okay? So 4 abilities, 6 levels. You're probably going to be, for example, you can be in different levels according to how easy or how hard it is for you to develop yourself. Okay? So maybe if you're watching this live stream, your listening ability might be very good. But it doesn't mean that you speak as well as you listen. The same goes for reading and writing. So you're going to be in different levels according to your abilities. Okay? Okay, Mateus is asking, what's your favorite Metallica song? Mm-hmm. That's hard, right? Like choosing one song of a band such as Metallica, that's not an easy thing to do. But I would say that I'm really into the Black Album as a whole, like the whole album. I know it all the lyrics, all the songs, everything about it, because my dad used to have the Black Album and I would listen to it like all the time. I would steal it from my dad and play it all day, all day long, all summer long, all time. Like it doesn't matter. I would just listen to it. And also now the Yellow Album, right? Lux Eterna and all the songs from the latest album, they're all so great. I think they have the same kind of vibe. So, yeah. I'm not going to name one song. Okay, let's put it out there, the Black Album, and then you can choose any song from there. From Whom the Bell Tolls, I like it a lot, but there's also, there's another song that I think I like more. I like it better, but I just don't remember the song right now, the name. Let me see. I'm going to open my Spotify and then I'm going to tell you. Because I'm from the time, guys, that you wouldn't like be staring at the name of the songs. We would just play the song. Like you get the CD, you put the CD in the CD player, you press play, and then you listen to the whole thing. So let me see. Where is it? I'm going to tell you guys. Wait. Let's see. It is Wherever I May Roam. Oh my goodness, this song is something else. Metallica, thank you so much for being this crazy band that we love so much. Next question. What was the hardest thing you've ever experienced after you left Brazil? I would say that the hardest thing I experienced after I left Brazil is... Oh yeah, actually, I would say that the hardest thing was having a person crashing into my car. I lost my car and I had to deal with like testimonies, like people would give the testimonies of what they saw of the crash, and I had to talk to the police. I had to talk to the woman who hit my car, and she was kind of crazy. That was insane. And after that, I had to drive home with my car. Like I was holding on the wheel like this to get my car to go straight. So that was bad. And after that, I had to call to the insurance. I had to explain to them that I was right and that the woman was wrong. I think this was the hardest thing that I had to deal. Like it was one situation that changed my whole week, and there were different things happening every single day that I had to do. I had to call to different people and sort things out. So I would say that this was one of the greatest and craziest things that happened after I left Brazil. Like talking about a very specific situation, but the whole experience of living Brazil and coming to the US and learning how to live in a completely different culture, because things are very different, is hard. It's hard. It's not easy, but it's worth it. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm still here. Okay? It's worth it. It's completely worth it. And that's why mainly there are, like, for example, a lot of people living abroad, not only in the US, but in Europe and other places of Asia, for example. And it's hard, but it's worth it. Like there are compensations. There are things that are things that we dreamed of and that we can have in these countries that sometimes it's harder to have in Brazil, and opportunities, mainly job opportunities and living out of what you believe in and what you like. Sometimes, depending on what you do and what you like doing, like as a professionally or as your hobbies, it's totally worth it. Okay. And it was my dream to live here, even though, like, even since I was a kid, I wanted to live here. So it's not something that oh, okay, I became an English teacher and now I'm gonna move to the US. No, it was my dream since I was like, I don't know, since I was 5, 4, I don't know. Diego's asking, how many guitars do you have? Currently, I have the black one, I have the green one, I have the red. So I have 3 electric guitars and 1 acoustic guitar, and I have a borrowed acoustic guitar. My friend Linneo lent me, and then I borrowed from him 2 years ago, and he's just said like, okay, you can keep it for a while, and whenever I need it, I'm gonna ask you back. So in total, in my house today, there are 5 string instruments. And then the drums, of course, there are many drums here. Are you superstitious? I'm not. I used to be, but I'm not. Not anymore. Let me see. Okay, why should I learn English by your point of view? So it truly depends on your lifestyle. It depends on your dreams. It depends on the things that are in your heart. So I don't know. I don't know what's the reason why you're living this live stream, for example. But I know that I wanted to learn English to have freedom, to have autonomy, to be independent. I knew that if I learned English, I would be able to travel the world. I would be able to have more opportunities. I knew that things would be just easier. Just because I speak English, yes, just because of that. And I could see this happening throughout my life. So far, I have had many different opportunities just because I speak English. Okay? So it really depends on what you want for your life. If you want to have more job opportunities, if you want to travel the world, if you want to get to know different cultures, if you want to explore things and, I don't know, man, like, I don't know, learning and speaking English is one of the greatest things I've ever done in my whole life, because I know that I haven't stopped yet. Like, I haven't stopped learning, and I know that there is a lot of opportunities still ahead of me. So think about that. I'm an English teacher. I've been teaching English for the past 7 years. I haven't stopped learning yet. I won't, because I know that there is always room for improvement. But I know that I'm not only an English teacher. There are many other things that I do in life. There are many different passions. There are things that I don't know that are going to happen. So for example, one of the funny things, once again going back to that question, one of the funniest things that happened in my career was that I was able to interview John Mayer's guitar player just because I played the guitar and I speak English. Try to imagine that. A person saw me playing at church. This is the first scenario, okay? I played guitar at church. Then this person watched a video of mine playing guitar online. And this person didn't know that I was the same girl. Okay, okay. And then this person saw me teaching English. So 3 different scenarios, 3 different situations. And only when this person saw me teaching English, and then he clicked on my profile, and then he saw that I was the girl who was on church and on YouTube playing guitar, he said like, okay, you're the perfect girl and person to do this job. And he hired me. And that was it. That was it. I didn't ask for the opportunity. The opportunity came to me. And when in my life would I imagine, think, or try to grasp the idea that one day I would be invited to interview such a guitar player? You know what I'm saying? So this is the kind of opportunity, this is the kind of situation, this is the kind of future that English holds. My friends, let's go. Next question. I'm with my heater on, but I'm already hot. I'm already hot in here. Let me say, how to improve my listening abilities or the listening abilities. Well, skills. You can say abilities or skills. Wagner, there are many ways of improving your listening ability, and one of them is what you're doing here. Listening to a person speaking English like in a flow, right? This is not an edited video. You're watching me live. Okay, so for example, now it's 3:39 here in Los Angeles. You can watch your phone. It's gonna be 5 hours ahead of me if you live in Brazil and you use the Brazilian time to get a reference. Okay, so 3:35, 3:40 now. We're live, and this is a flow. Another way of practicing your listening ability would be watching interviews. So if you can do that, go for it. You can use the subtitles as a reference because, for example, just as a perspective, when we're watching an interview, sometimes proper like people's names are going to be mentioned, or businesses or brands or museums, whatever, and we're not familiar with them, and then we don't understand, and from that point on we can understand, we can follow, we can follow. So I would say that having the subtitles on is actually good for your vocabulary and for your understanding, just to make sure that, yeah, I understood what I understood, and this piece that I didn't understand was because it was a reference, it was a cultural reference that I couldn't grasp, that I couldn't understand. Okay? So I would watch vlogs in English, I would watch interviews, I would listen to podcasts, I would listen to audiobooks. And if you could have, for example, not only the book itself, but also listen to it, that's even better. Even better. When we combine the abilities in English, we have a higher probability of improving our skills. Instead of just working like improving and focusing on one ability, if we combine them, mainly if we're beginners, if we're starting to learn English right now, that's better to combine the abilities. Okay? And of course, here on my channel, I have many videos teaching that. Ok, which, nesse caso seria melhor what, okay? What are your objectives for this year? Or we could also say, what are your goals for this year? Well, I have many goals for this year, and I actually have a list of all of my goals right in front of me. This is something that I decided to do this year because, as you guys know, if you watch my channel, if you watch everything I produce, you know me enough to know that every year I set my goals, and I usually set my goals and I have them in my mind, and I do place them inside my Bible just because all of them are there and I know that I can find them there too. So I don't have a list in front of me that I can keep track of. I just have them in my mind and in my heart, and whatever I got my Bible, when I open my Bible, I'm gonna see them there too. But I decided to have them printed out and like in front of me throughout the year just to make sure that I know what I'm doing, because there are great things that I want to do this year and I don't want to lose track of them. So, they're right here. Okay? Like here. I'm not gonna show them because they're very personal. But I would say that one of them is reaching 200,000 followers on like subscribers here on YouTube. So I need you guys for that. If you like the content that I produce, if you like the classes, if you like the lessons, if you like the reacts, if you like the songs, if you like whatever I'm doing here, please share. Just share. There's nothing in front of you. There's nothing that is blocking your way. There are no roadblocks or whatever. Just go and click on that share button and share it to a group or a person that you know that is going to enjoy whatever I do here. So help me out with that. Let's reach 200,000 followers this year, subscribers on YouTube channel, on this YouTube channel. Victor said, what is the biggest dream? Tá, a gente poderia trocar aqui. What is the biggest dream that you want to achieve? That's a good question, Victor, because I think that our dreams, they constantly change. Even though that, like, we change constantly. Like, not only our dreams change, but as a person, I change. So my dreams, as a consequence of who I am and what I do, they also change. And nowadays, I don't see it as like, I can't see just one big goal that I want to achieve in life. I think that every day I'm achieving dreams. Every day I'm conquering fears, and every day I'm improving as a person. So I don't have one big dream that if I fulfill this dream, I'm gonna be the most satisfied person in this world. I don't believe that for real. I don't. I used to have like one specific dream, but I understood that I prefer other things than that dream, if that makes any sense. For example, I dreamed of becoming the best guitar player in the world because I was very naive. I was very naive and kind of selfish. So I had this dream and I was kind of betting everything on it. But then I understood that to do so, I would have to sacrifice things that I wouldn't sacrifice, basically. Like some of the things that I want for life, some things are related to lifestyle. Now I am married to a musician, so I know how hard things are. I know how the life on the road is, and this is not a way that I want to go. Like this is not a path that I want to, you know, be on, basically. So I changed my mind. I don't want to be the best guitar player in the world. I want to make music. This is one of my goals. This is one of my things that I have in my heart, that I carry in my heart, but that doesn't mean that it's the greatest dream of all time, you know? So it's hard to say. Gustavo is asking, what do you do in your free time? Gustavo, there are so many things that I like to do in my free time. I would say that I love to learn, and I love to learn things that are not related to my work field. So, of course, I practice and I consume English all the time, but I'm not made of English only, there are other things that are part in me, that take part in me. So I would say that I love to read, and I like to read books that are going to be informative and are going to help me in a different, like in a specific area of my life. So for example, 2 years ago, my reading goal was to read about self-development, productivity, discipline. Last year was my spirituality year, so I read books about my spiritual life that could help me with my spiritual life. And then this year, my goal is to learn about the brain. I want to learn more about how memory works. I want to learn how is this process of this incredible machine that is inside of all of us, but we have no idea exactly what happens because we've been studying our brain for the past 50 years only. So this is what I like to do. I like to read. um, I also like, of course, to play the guitar, to come up with new melodies, new harmonies, new songs, and it's just something that comes and flows. um, I also like to go hiking and go outdoors, do stuff out of my house. Like I want to leave my house to do something else. So it can be a physical activity, as walking in the park, seeing a friend and walking at the beach, or doing something else, going on a hike in the mountains, or just going out for a coffee. And that's basically, I like to cook as well, but cooking is not only something that I do in my free time. I have just to do it because I have to survive. But I also like learning new recipes and trying new things in the kitchen, even though if they're like just things that I'm coming up right when I'm making them, I really don't care. I just want to try new things. And love to listen to music. This is something that I do not only in my free time, but also while I'm working, while I'm doing anything else. I like to work out, but once again, this is not what I do in my free time. This is one of the activities that I have to do during the day. I count them as a task. So going to the gym and working out and taking care of my body as well as cooking, it's one of my tasks of the day. It's not something that I do in my free time, if that makes any sense. Ok? Good. Yay! Guys, are you enjoying this? Vocês estão gostando disso? Tá fazendo sentido? Tá sendo legal? Vocês estão aprendendo palavra nova? O que tá acontecendo? Tá bom? Me contem. Nossa, Diego, eu estou amando suas perguntas. What's the best concert you've ever been to? Ok? Ao invés do gone, a gente usa been, porque eu fui e voltei. Gone é quando a pessoa foi e acabou, a pessoa tá lá ainda. Não é essa ideia, eu fui e voltei. Então eu já fui, I've been. The best concert. I have been to so many great concerts in my life. This is one of my privileges, that's for sure. Because, like, entertainment, I know that it's something that not everybody has access. And when it comes to concerts, sometimes they can be expensive. But somehow I managed to be in many different concerts that I love. And I know many people in the industry, even before getting to know Bruno. So I've been to many concerts for free. For example, Iron Maiden was one of the first concerts, metal, actually it was the first heavy metal concert I've ever been to, and I didn't pay for the ticket because a friend of mine got the tickets, and I went, like, um but I've been to Slash's concert, Guns N' Roses, Iron Maiden, Def Leppard, uh Aerosmith. Oh my goodness, Aerosmith was one of the best concerts ever. Whitesnake, Metallica. I've been through to 3 different Metallica concerts. um what else? Oh my goodness. One band that I want to watch live is Pearl Jam, that I haven't watched yet. Oh my goodness. Extreme, I've watched it live. Mr. Big, I've watched it live. Steve Vai, I watched it live. I don't need to say about Angra, right? Because, since 2014, I've been to every single concert I could. Uh, I would say that Aerosmith. Okay, Aerosmith was one of the greatest, just because it's Aerosmith. You gotta respect them. Okay, you gotta respect them. That's it, Aerosmith. Let's put it like that. Because I think I'm gonna watch more of Metallica concerts. I don't know how about Aerosmith, because I know it's kind of different for them. But Metallica for sure. But I want to be closer to the stage next Metallica concert I go. I want to be closer to the stage, because one of them we were close enough, but not in a good angle, and the 2 following ones I was like far. I need to be closer. Fabian is asking if I like coffee. I not only like coffee, but I'm kind of obsessed with coffee. Just kidding. I have a good control over coffee, but I do like coffee. And today I even shared a nice content on my Instagram making coffee. So you should check that out. Okay, check that out. Thiago asked, "How did you and Bruno meet each other?" That's a fun story. I think I've never said. I've never told the story like live, but um I met Bruno on the internet. So I was watching one of Mateo Azesado's videos, and one of them was with Bruno. And I was like, oh my gosh, this guy plays the drums so well. I think that he's too young to be playing like that. And then I decided to send him a message. No, actually, I watched all of his videos on YouTube. I was kind of a stalker. But anyway, I watched them, and then I sent him a message. I was like, hey, I was watching your videos. You play very well. Congrats for what you're doing. I even shared them with my dad. He also liked them. And thank you so much. Let's get in touch. Let's keep in touch. And then he answered. He was very polite. He just said like, oh, thank you. I hope that we can, just see each other anytime. Like, just cross paths, because we had a lot of friends in common, and he saw it because I sent the message on Facebook. So, and since then we've been talking every day, basically. And we met each other in person when he did clinic with Kiko Loureiro and Felipe Andreoli at my music school, and we took a picture together, and it was it. He actually, right after that, he joined Angra, so I got to know Bruno before he joined Angra, and we started dating, and we've been together for 10 years, and we are married for 5. So things are good, and time is flying by. Oh, I think Wagner asked, and I answered to this question already, but I think I'm kind of late, right, guys? I'm kind of late in the questions. Sorry. Natasha is asking, what was the last book you read? Guys, aqui é uma diferença interessante sobre which and was, which and what, vou explicar aqui rapidinho para vocês. Which é quando a gente sabe das opções. Então, por exemplo, Natasha, se eu tivesse falado todos os nomes dos livros que eu li, que eu li no último ano, aí você poderia falar assim, qual que foi o último que você leu? Aí a gente usaria o which, porque a gente teria visto as opções. Como a gente não tem opções aqui, eu não falei quais livros eu li, o ideal seria usar o what. What was the last book you read? ok? Então a gente pode sempre ter isso em mente, tá bom? Se você não tem noção da resposta, se você não tem nenhuma referência, se você não tem opções, é o what que você vai usar. Agora, por exemplo, se eu tivesse falado, eu li esse livro. Aí você vai me falar, tá, Camille, desses quatro, which was the last one you read? Which one was the last book you read? Tá bom? Então, what was the last book I read? The last book I read, I don't know. Oh my God, I'm reading one right now, but I don't remember which one was. Oh, actually, it was Água Viva, da Clarice Lispector. Foi esse último livro que eu li. Foi um livro que eu enfiei no meio dos livros de espiritualidade que eu tava lendo. E foi uma loucura, foi uma loucura. Eu ainda tô lendo, na verdade. I'm still reading the last book about spirituality. I haven't finished it yet, because, you know, we are in January, and I started this book like in the first week of January. So I still have to finish it. But from that, where is the book? Okay, it's there. But I already have my first book about the brain. Oh, this is fun. Did you, in this case, you can ask in the present, okay? Do you remember the first money or the first payment or whatever you got with music? Yes, I do remember. I do remember. I do. And it was about, I think that I was with my band. Yeah, I think it was. Wait a minute. Let me see if I actually remember. I remember actually the first payment I got from being a model, because I've worked as a model when I was a kid and like in my teenage years. But with music, like I remember the concerts I got paid for, but I don't remember exactly which one was the first, if that makes sense. But with the money that I got from modeling, I bought my first guitar. That's true. Oh, that's interesting. Yes, I don't have no one to practice, only listening English from YouTube videos. That's good. That's good. I couldn't practice much as well when I was younger, and one of the things that helped me a lot was music, for real. Music, listening to music and trying to understand what people were saying. And also like TV shows, movies, and whatever. So we don't have to be in contact with people in person to develop our listening abilities. This is one of the greatest myths of all time. Okay, this is a myth. You don't need. And you can also think about like people who speak more than one language. It's hard for them to have a person to practice in their daily basis. So it's not only about the listening ability, but also the speaking ability. And guys, let's be honest. What I'm doing here, you guys are sending the messages, you're sending the questions, but I could be speaking to myself on my own. Like, I'm just doing it live. Have you thought about it? Like, I've been speaking to you guys for almost an hour in English, mainly in English. And there's no one in the room with me. I'm by myself. So that's very interesting. That's a good question. What's the song you listen to the most in 2024? Well, it's kind of early to say, but I can say like in January, I think it's Journey, one of the Journey songs. Let me put it here. Let me see if I can find it. Separate Ways. I love the song Separate Ways by Journey. People are asking me if I'm related to an actress, not that I'm aware of. I don't think so. Oh, that's nice. Lauren's saying that he's learning English and cannot understand everything at all times, but he can understand a little bit. Good. And guys, have you noticed that this is my natural speed, right? I'm not slowing it down. I'm just speaking as I do. Simply because, of course, this is not a course, right? This is a live stream. So this is a chat. We're just talking. You guys are sending questions. I'm answering to them, and that's good. So I'm not speaking slower. Okay, this is not something that I'm doing right now. So congrats for those of you who are like doing your best to understand what I'm saying, because this is my regular speed. And I'm not trying to be faster than usual. You can be sure of that. Let me know, guys, if you're my student and you're here, let me know. And then you can tell them as well in the comment section if I'm changing the way I'm speaking just because I'm speaking here. I'm not, okay? This is what I do. Leandro's asking, where do you live? I live in Los Angeles, California, United States of America. Do you, oh, in this case, you can say, can you play? Can you play Seek and Destroy? I can. Actually, it was one of the first songs I learned on the guitar. Uh, okay, this is a good question. What's the best, okay, not better, what's the best choice? To practice English with a native or with a Brazilian teacher? Well, that depends very much because if you have an English speaking or like a native English teacher, if you have any basic questions and you cannot communicate through English, this person won't be able to help you, okay? But I do understand that having an English native teacher is pretty nice, but I do understand that a Brazilian teacher can help you a lot. And I would say that it would be my first go to if I was learning any other language. Simply because this person knows how we think. I know how you guys think because I've been through the same process. I might not be the one who knows everything about English when it comes to all sorts of vocabulary as a native speaker does, but I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm teaching. I know why I teach the way I teach. I know why I communicate the way I communicate, just because I know that it's easier. I know how to make communication and understanding easier for you because we have the same line of thought, basically. So it's a hard question. It depends on what you want. It depends on your level. It depends on your goals and what you want to do with English. Elisa is asking, do you have a dog? No, I don't have a dog. Actually, I have a cat, or it's better to say that I had a cat because it's now living with my mom in Belo Horizonte. Okay, I had Jojo. Jojo was my beautiful cat. She would listen to Pantera and she would sleep. So she's a very crazy cat. hmm if I just read something in English and then listen to some video on YouTube, and after I study something linked to grammar, I can improve my English a lot, right? Yeah. As long as you're in touch with the language and you want to understand what's going on, you're gonna learn. So, but just remember that there are steps and there is a way to follow. Like we cannot do it randomly, and we cannot do it without like any reference of what level we're in. Okay, actually, what level we're at. Adriana is asking, that's a great question. What do you think about artificial intelligence for learning English? I think it's amazing. I think it's great, but you have to know how to use it. Otherwise, you're going to be like downloading a lot of lists, downloading a lot of rules, but just downloading them to your computer or cell phone or whatever, but you won't be able to work with them if you don't know what you do, if you don't know what to do with them. So it truly depends not only on what we can have with artificial intelligence, but what we do with it. Like, it's been some time that ChatGPT is there, and a lot of people still don't know how to use it. So what's the point? Having the technology doesn't mean that we know how to use it properly. Not only with other things, but for learning English as well. Let me see. Oh, that's a good question. What motivates you to teach English? I would say the possibility that, not only the possibility, but things that can happen in our lives. I think that I not only think, but I believe and I live what I share with you guys about possibilities related to English speaking. And whenever I see my students speaking and improving their abilities, I go crazy. And that's why I like to say and to repeat this all the time. But that's how I truly feel about it, which is my students are something that I'm very proud of. They are people that I'm proud of. And not only because they can speak the language and learn the language, but because they're developing themselves to become the better that they can be. So actually, they can be the best that they can be. They become the best that they can be, and then they can become. That's what I like about English. It doesn't change you only to what you have access to, but it changes you from inside out, if that makes any sense. My students usually say that my English course is not only an English course, but it's a course for life, because that's what I believe. It's not English itself. It's not only the language. It's not just the alphabet and how the words are organized, or the group of words, or the expressions, the idioms. No, this is just one thing. And it's not that complicated. If you have a good basic, like a good basis, a good foundation, boy, you can have so much out of that. So much. Let me see. Do you have a favorite sport? I like to watch sports in general. So for watching, I like sports. I think it's so hard to be anything like to be an athlete is hard. It's freaking hard to be an athlete. My father was an athlete, so that's why I think this big appreciation for athletes. But I like to play volleyball and handball mainly. I also like to run, to swim, but to play, it's volleyball and handball. What are the best habits for learning English? Well, I think we've been talking a lot about it, but I would say to dive deep into the culture, to dive deep into your curiosity. Yeah, to dive deep into your curiosity. I think it's one of the best things that you can learn, that you can do for your English learning. So try to consume try to consume a lot of the culture itself, by the TV shows, the songs, uh, literature in general, but also like try to answer to your questions, try to find answers, try to find different ways of saying the same thing, try to expand your vocabulary. You know, being curious is one of the greatest things that you can do to improve your English. Like, it doesn't matter the ability, it doesn't matter if it's for grammar, if it's for vocabulary, it doesn't matter if it's for pronunciation, it's going to serve you well. Okay? In your opinion, which artist has the best songs to practice English? Once again, aqui a gente tem que falar what, okay? What artist? What artist has the best song? Because eu não tô dando nenhuma lista, não tô dando nenhuma opção, certo? Então, what is... Well, it's hard because there are many different ways of learning English through songs, and it's not only about a person or their pronunciation. I would say that I would say, how can I say this? I would say that your personal taste matters more in this perspective. Because I cannot tell you, for example, oh, Elvis is nice, but then you listen to Elvis and you're like, oh, this is not nice. I don't know. This is personal taste. So, for example, I know that many of you enjoy Metallica and you're here for it, right? You're talking about it, you're asking questions about it. So, why not using Metallica? Of course, it's different when you get like a very fast song and a slow song. So, I would say try to check, take a look on your personal taste, go to Spotify and check what are the latest artists you've been listening to, and try to find slow songs, like songs that they are like a ballad, they're more romantic and slow. Probably these are the best songs to learn English. Um, and Also, you can try to find like live versions, because if it's like a good mix, if it's like a good audio engineering, you can listen to the singer singing more clearly as well. So just another option. But I would say like go for slower songs, romantic ballads. They're the best ones. Okay. And then if you want to practice how fast you can understand, then we're talking about comprehension. Then we can talk about faster songs, and also not only songs in this case, because then we have to improve like other things as vocabulary. Okay. Oh, do you believe in using motivational boards with all those images, like dream boards, right? I do. I do. I actually think that one of the best ways of doing it is to have them on your phone like this. But myself, I used to practice it, but I don't do it anymore because I just have everything so clear in my mind that I don't need anything physical or visual to remind me of what are the things that I need to do. So I do believe in them. I think they're good. If you feel that you lose your motivation from time to time, I think it's good. It's just a reference, okay? That won't like guide you. You have to do things to make them to come true, right? To bring them to life. So it's just a reference. It's good. Do you know how to play any fretless instruments? No, I don't. Stefan, thank you for your contribution. Do you like teaching English? No, I love. I love teaching English. It's fun, guys, because it's not only about the language. As I said, we can talk about so many different things. We can help people in so many different ways. There's so much behind English that it's just not a language. It's not. That's why I love it so much. And that's why we're all here. Guys, this is the live stream that I like with the higher audience that I've ever got. This is insane. And this is just because you want to learn English. Right? This isn't that nice? Isn't that cool? We're talking about music, we're talking about dreams, not only the language. So that's the beauty and that's the intensity of being an English teacher. There's so much more than just teaching. I would say that anybody who is a teacher learns more than teaches. There you go. This is a good reflection for you guys. Are you natty? Yes, sir. I go to the gym very frequently and there are no juice in this house. There ain't no juice in this house. This is a good question. Are you natty? Oh boy. Nice. Les Paul and Telecaster. I have one Les Paul and two Stratocasters. Two Strats. Do you know any other language? Not yet. I'm not fluent in any other language, but I would say that I understand. My listening in Spanish is amazing. It's pretty good. Pretty good. I have to deal with people who have as well Spanish as their first language. So I listen to a lot of Spanish, but the reality is that for me to speak Spanish is a little bit harder because I feel that I know because of Portuguese. Okay, I know Portuguese. I can do something here and there and then I'm speaking Spanish, but that's not the reality. So I just need to focus more on my studies. Bruno said, hi, how are you? Hi, Bruno, I'm pretty good. How are you? I'm trying to learn English on my own. Congratulations for that. I know it's not easy. And it's very difficult sometimes to know what to study. Yeah, boy, I know it. A lot of content and I get lost and I'm using translator now. Ok, just one thing. Quando a gente vai rir em inglês, gente, não vamos usar essa estrutura aqui, ó, das três letras K, das três letras repetidas aqui da letra K, tá? Porque isso em inglês tem um outro significado que era de um grupo terrorista e blá blá blá, tá bom? Então sempre quando a gente for ler em inglês, né, vou dar risada, quando você quiser representar que você, meu Deus, estou dando risada, você pode usar o LOL, que é laughing out loud, tá? L-O-L, não é o jogo LOL, é a risada em inglês, L-O-L. Ou você pode falar ha, tá? Mas kkk nunca, pelo amor de Deus. Não, tá bom? Vocês estão nessa live, vocês nunca mais vão usar kkk pra rir, tá? Então agora vamos lá, Bruno. Let's talk about your matter. Yeah, this is one of the greatest challenges and difficulties for those who are learning English by themselves, which is, where am I? What should I do? Where should I go to? Am I doing it right? Am I improving? So that's why I want to invite you guys to come to this very immersive and incredible event that we're going to have here from California to the rest of the world, which is my imersão. Okay, I'm going to say it in Portuguese because this is the name of the event. So, guys, mais uma vez, sejam muito bem-vindos ao canal. E eu sempre quero que vocês lembrem que minha ideia principal aqui é fazer com que vocês aprendam inglês. E é por esse motivo por que eu tô falando dia 3? Não, é dia 29, 30 e 31 de janeiro, a gente vai ter a primeira imersão de inglês aqui direto da Califórnia. Então, se você ainda não se inscreveu, se inscreva, o link tá aqui embaixo para vocês se inscreverem. É totalmente gratuito. E durante esses 3 dias eu vou mostrar para vocês como que eu cheguei nesse inglês que eu tô falando para vocês aqui agora, né? Então, eu vou explicar em detalhes esse método, qual que é o método, o que eu fiz para alcançar a fluência no inglês, mas não só isso, eu vou compartilhar com vocês todos os segredos que eu desvendei morando nos Estados Unidos nos últimos 4 anos. Então, o que eu aprendi com os gringos, o que eu aprendi com os nativos, o que eu aprendi com os imigrantes, porque esse é o inglês de verdade, esse é o inglês do dia a dia, e não é o inglês do livro, não é o inglês de ficar repetindo história que não existe, não é o livro, não é aquele negócio de ficar preenchendo lacuna, caça-palavras, o que é isso? Isso é inglês de verdade? Não, não é. Então, o que a gente vai fazer? Nesses 3 dias eu vou mostrar para vocês o que vocês precisam fazer para ter esse inglês de verdade, para alcançar fluência no idioma. Se você tem interesse, você já sabe, é só clicar aqui no link que tá aqui embaixo e se inscrever, porque é de graça, tá? Guys, eu acho que a gente já vai encerrar a live e a gente vai ter que fazer outras, porque isso aqui foi demais, vocês não acham? Meu Deus, a gente fez mais que 30 perguntas, será? Não sei, mas igual eu falei pra vocês, eu vou mandar lá no nosso grupo do Telegram um material com as 30 perguntas que eu montei pra gente desenvolver essa conversa, pra quebrar esse gelo quando a gente tá conhecendo outras pessoas, tá bom? Vocês estão muito convidados a participar no grupo do Telegram, é gratuito, e também muito, muito convidados a participar da nossa imersão, dia 29, 30 e 31, vai ser às 8 horas da noite. Garanta a sua vaga, porque depois não vai falar que eu não avisei, porque se você garantir a sua vaga agora, eu vou te lembrar do evento, então não vai ter como você perder, tá bom? Combinado, guys? Podemos encerrar aqui e vocês guardam as perguntas que eu não respondi para a próxima? Porque, meu Deus, foram muitas perguntas, que legal! Que legal. Ah, fico muito feliz. Putz, são muitas perguntas. Eu não vi tudo isso. Gente, que legal. Bom, muito obrigada por acompanharem tudo. Vamos fazer o seguinte, quinta-feira que vem a gente vai fazer uma outra live exatamente como essa, para vocês falarem e mandarem todas as perguntas para a gente ir praticando bastante. E eu quero, assim, para vocês se esforçarem na nossa live. Claro que vocês têm toda a tecnologia disponível para vocês fazerem suas perguntas, mas tentem escrever da própria cabeça de vocês, tá? Não fica. O seu primeiro passo não pode ser abrir o tradutor. O seu primeiro passo tem que ser: deixa eu tentar escrever aqui, na caixinha ali mesmo do chat do YouTube, deixa eu ver como é que isso soa, deixa eu ver como é que isso aqui fica, e manda desse jeito, porque daí eu vou corrigir. A gente vai fazer isso aqui junto, e aí você vai memorizar com muito mais facilidade, tá? Eu tô falando isso porque é um caminho de se aprender inglês com mais naturalidade e mais confiança, porque o que acaba acontecendo é que quando a gente tem essa atitude de não sei, vou no tradutor, eu não sei nem como começar essa frase, vou no tradutor, você nunca vai montar uma frase por si só. Não vai, você não vai se sentir confiante, confortável. Você sempre vai achar, não tá bom, não tá completo, não sei o quê, blá blá blá. Vai lá, escreve direto, manda aí, a gente tá aqui pra isso, tá bom? Carlos tá perguntando se eu toco guitarra também. Carlos, que isso, Carlos? Eu era professora de música antes de virar professora de inglês, sou guitarrista também. Tá bom, guys? É isso. Espero vocês. Terça-feira tem aula nova aqui no canal, mas segunda-feira tem live no Instagram, tá? Então eu espero vocês lá. 8 horas da noite tem live no Instagram. Segunda. Quinta-feira tem live aqui e a gente faz uma live parecida com essa. Pode ser? Vocês gostaram? Ó, o Paulo tá perguntando se eu tava usando palavras mais fáceis. Não, eu tava falando normal, tá? Não fiz nenhuma escolha pra deixar o inglês mais fácil pra vocês aqui hoje. Deixa eu ver. Ok. Bom, guys, eu vou deixar essa live salva aqui também pra quem tá chegando agora, tá bom? Então, beijo, espero vocês segunda no Instagram, terça aqui no canal, quinta no canal e, claro, dia 29, 30 e 31 pra nossa primeira imersão de inglês aqui direto da Califórnia. Guys, vamos se inscrever, participem, porque vai ser muito legal, vai ter muito material, vai ter muita prática. Se vocês acham que essa live aqui foi legal, é porque vocês não viram o que a gente tá preparando pro evento, tá? Bye, 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 take care!